So as the Christmas outdoor lighting season came and went, this year we had a couple electrical fails, and usually every year there's something. It's usually not. It's never really the same thing every year. It's usually something, due to age or the weather or combination of both. Something gives out, and you kind of have to on the fly troubleshoot and repair. And we did a few of those videos this 2024 Christmas season. So check those out. I think the infamous one was we were going to do a walk around tour, and something went out while we were there and it turned into a troubleshooting video. In that case, we had a bad outlet on the rear of the house. We had another situation where on Christmas Eve a section was out, and we thought it was the timer. It was not. We hot swapped the timer. Timer was fine. Turned out to be the extension cord, and did a quick video on that extension cord, but soon we'll do a video on the actual repair of it, because if you follow this channel, we certainly like to reuse as much as we can and repair what we can. With extension cords, well, it's a pain when they fail for whatever reason, but the flip side is, if you can repair them, that's great. Or if you just have something that gets broken in half or cut up or whatever, you can make multiple extension cords out of it and use the different lengths for different areas. So in this case, this splitter, my son pointed out to me, this is what happened to it. You can see it just heated up and melted. Now, I don't have the extension cord with me that was plugged into this, but that's actually fine. So I'll give you some background on what was plugged into this. Now, I'm not an electrician, and someone who's watching this might scream at me in the comments, fine. But I'll tell you what was connected to it. So where this was connected, this was indoors. This was in the basement. This was connected to a commercial box, grounded, everything, where one of the two sub pumps are connected. They are each connected to their own breaker in the breaker box. So in terms of sharing it with anything else, in terms of the load, there was no, it's not like there was another room connected to that breaker or something like that. But what I think has happened is, so there's a 100-foot outdoor extension cord plugged into it, running across the inside of the basement, out the bulkhead, around the side of the house to the first, to the first timer. And I can tell you what was connected to it. And this is where some of you might blow me up in the comments. There is a large shrub, which went from initially when we started putting lights up more than a decade ago, might have had 2 strings, possibly 1 string, incandescent C9s. It has grown so much, it now this year I believe had 6 strings of incandescent C9s. From there, you kind of daisy chain off to forget the name of the type of bush or shrub that it sits on, but it is something that loses all its leaves and whatnot. And we put 2 sets of net lighting on it, and those are LEDs, they're fine. Then it goes over to a rhododendron that I had transplanted more than 10 years ago, a tiny one that I would only put minis on initially because it was so small. Now it has 2 sets of incandescent C9s. Then finally, it goes over to I think it's is it a dogwood tree that has a bunch of C7s on it, and I believe there are at least 4 sets. Now, when I say they have incandescents on all the sets, the C9s and C7s, they are, as those bulbs fail, I retrofit them, as I talked about in other videos, with LEDs. And it mainly to hopefully avoid what has happened here, in the sense of you're running out of electricity and things heat up. So this is the first time in all the years I've been running electricity to that portion of the yard that I have any issue. And the only difference over the years is the adding of sets to that first that first shrub that has now takes on 6 sets of incandescent C9s, where it used to take 1 or 2. This year we added the 6th set, and this must have been the tipping point. So we'll have to come up with another solution for next year for running electricity out there, but it's something to be aware of. And not that yes, this ultimately could be dangerous. Now, one of the things I didn't do is, unless it's happenstance or by chance, I didn't happen to feel the cord while it was on in the evening. So obviously, if it felt really warm, I would have unplugged it and kind of reconnected the electricity. So that is really what I think prompted how hot this thing got and just melted it away. But again, the actual extension cord, you wouldn't even know. So it was just those prongs that heated up. It didn't melt the end of the plug. So really kind of a gut check to myself is know your limitations for each breaker, for each circuit, and then periodically kind of spot check or do kind of a check to make sure things aren't heating up too much. So I want to say thanks for watching, and feel free to let me have it in the comments, and we will be better in the future about overloading or running out of electricity in a certain area, and try to do a better job of load balancing, even though we're pretty much maxed out from a load balance standpoint, but we'll have to think of something. Thanks for watching. Make sure you like, subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one.